Hello, welcome back to Off the Donut. I knew you were gonna do some shit just
I'm
because that's
so
how you
sorry. I'm
always
so
are.
sorry.
It's cool. We're gonna keep the take.
No.
Today, joining with us is Vince M. Vince
Hi.
is a multimedia visual artist specializing in paint and clay based here out of Delaware. Their art often portrays intensely emotional characters and poses in a way that romanticizes but yet humbles the human face and body. You can follow them on Twitter at You're a Liar Lucille, which I'm going to have on the screen right here. For more art, hot music takes on Set It Off and other emo acts, and probably some self-deprecating stuff too. How are you today?
I am doing very good. I think with the introduction of No Nuance November has led me to become more vocal with no explanation at all. But other than that, I feel rootin' tootin', hollering hootin', all that fun stuff. I feel good. How are you?
I'm doing fucking great, man. I'm having the time of my life. Uh, so we got I'm really doing great. We have a bev check today. We don't have a snack check because all I had was fucking applesauce at my house. You don't either. So I just have
I
water.
I have water. Mine is with Mio Berry Blast. My drink was blue. I think I like managed to drink it all before. Yep, there's like the little remnants if you want. If any of you guys want some of it, go for it. Um, but yeah, my snack check. Ooh, oh, I had cereal. Never mind.
I had a cheesesteak before this. So that was
Ew.
pretty good. It was very good. It was very
Where was it
filling.
from?
From my work.
Yeah, I was gonna guess. I was like, I feel like I've had a Pat's cheesesteak before. I really feel like I did.
They're
Or like a
fucking
steak
good.
sandwich. I used to eat steak sandwiches like nobody's business because I wouldn't eat cheese, but I eat meat. And then now I don't eat meat, but I eat cheese. It's a very fun switch off with my body and what it can intake.
I
But
mean, hey, times change. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with some of the questions. So the first one that I have for you is a lot of the sketches and drawings that you post are pretty often pictures of the human body in slightly off and kind of distorted proportions, something that gives them, I think at least, gives them a little bit more of like a terrorizing and haunting undertone. In certain ways, are similar to one-line drawings. Is that a tone something is that tone something that you often kind of go into your art with in mind? Is it something that sort of progressively grows as you continue with the piece?
um honestly, when you asked me, I well, one, I've never thought that a lot of my I usually feel like I'm so tame with my art. It's very hard for me to step boundaries in a terrorizing way. So I appreciate that some of that disturbing imagery is getting across in my art. When it comes to that, I really like this is like a perfect example. I kind of just what I did with this is I started with like black, and then I put this on, and then I put this in, and then I just kind of keep adding the more that I find things to put on. If I'm not going based off of my own personal reference, a lot of the pieces that I have are really just me like messing around with nothing and kind of just trying to like engulf how I'm feeling. Usually I can't find ever like a meaning or a driven unless it's like a certain song that I have to have on repeat to finish the piece, then I do that. But other than that, like there's usually no meaning or thought whenever I'm making art. I just kind of take my brain, put it on the piece of paper, and then it just kind of looks like a distorted mess. So
Well, yeah, but I think for me at least, I think the distortion is something that always, like, it's not a bad thing in any way.
yeah.
I think I've always enjoyed it because like I don't really, the only word that I can think of when I think of it is just like fucking weird,
Yeah,
which
that's fair.
it always feels very slightly off, but I think that kind of pulls you in a lot of ways.
it
Um, yeah.
it's just it's really it's because when I've had a very confusing look at myself. So I am simply every time that I make a new body or if I put the person in a pose a certain way, it's basically me reflecting how I look at myself almost. It's kind of just I'm putting myself on the piece of paper in different ways, whether it's two people at a time. I just because when most artists, I love saying this to most artists, is when you can see, especially with bodies and faces, you can see the artist inside their art. And abstract leads to a whole mind meld with that because you're seeing like their vulnerability. But taking both of those together for me, it really just has other people see me for what I see my body as. And it's without realizing it too. Like I don't realize it half the time, but then when I look at it, the only way that I get those images is from looking either at myself in the mirror. I've had like paintings come up in my head the moment I get out the shower and I look at my rib cage curve in a certain way and I'm like, ooh, and I'm like, oh, it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That would look fucking tight.
Yeah, I look at it, I'm like, how about we just do this and then stay there? And then I remember I can't take a picture because my hands are like in the certain position that I want it. So I have to like mind take a picture, but no.
No, that's great. So there's a lot of self-insertion there.
Yes.
Subconsciously as well. So is that something that you kind of like at the end of a painting, you pretty consistently are like, oh shit, like
sometimes it's usually if I'm starting with a figure, I usually like I know with my one most recent piece, my Scarlet Letter piece, I literally took a picture of myself so I could get the pose right. But a lot of them I usually only realize it's me by the moment I do from like the spine down when it comes to side profiles, because it's just it curves in such a weird distorting way that I only know personally. But unless you all have weird
scoliosis.
Yes. My spine.
I've luckily I've never had to experience that, and I hope that's good Lord. Yeah, no, it's gotta suck.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't suck. It's just I have like
your spine is a question mark.
Yeah, my spine is a question.
Your spine is a question mark. That's the easiest way to put it. All right. So when it comes to painting, a pretty heavy amount of your pieces. In fact, I'm not sure if I've seen one that doesn't have it. Most of them exist within blue and red color palettes. I have that one back there, which you can see, which I love. You have a couple of ones in the background. It gives them a lot of deep contrast and just generally overall pretty striking imagery. Is there a reason why you favor that palette so much? How do you think it? Do you think it's something that helps you in the art making process?
So, I usually, since I've only been painting since April of 2019, I'm pretty sure, like spring break of 2019 is when I started painting. I got my first acrylics. I have red, blue, yellow, white, black. I prefer like the main colors that I prefer to use is red, white, and blue, because just it works best with me. And I feel like it's a weird in the moment, like the softness of it feels really nice, especially with blue. But it does help create like a nice little like dynamic, and especially with telling like the distinctness between two people. And so even with pictures that aren't meant to be like pink and blue, I really didn't mean to put the gender binary in this one, but I just like, because the blue Winsor & Newton that I use like cerulean blue. I definitely recommend it. I use that, and then I use like some white from Artist Loft or some shit like that. I don't know. Winsor & Newton, Artist Loft. Those are my two favorites. And like I was already so much detail. I started with his face first. So I started, and the blue works perfectly on this canvas. And then I realized I had to tell the two figures apart. So I had to use pink. But I really enjoy using reds and blues because I feel like I am like a very red-based person in my own personality, that blue is almost calming for me to use, especially with like the flowers that I put all around the backgrounds of my pieces.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Yeah,
exactly. It's easy to isolate with blue, and then having the contrast be that it kind of like pieces myself together. It puts me together. I do have like I have one that has green and yellow in it, and it's staring at me because I need to finish it. But other than that, I genuinely, no. I mean, Jason's has orange in it.
That's true. But even then, it's still pretty close to that.
It still has everything else. Like, there's no winning.
Yeah. I don't know. I think just for me, it's something that I think is very distinctly you when it comes to a lot of your paintings, because again, like I said, that I mean, they're two very contrasting colors. Like red is very, very different from blue. And so, when you have like the one that you have behind you, like when you have those two people, it makes it very distinct and clear sort of what's going on. And I don't know. I think that in a way that kind of adds to me at least, to some of that, like to some of those undertones that I was talking about, because um there's not like, it's kind of in your face in a lot of ways, and while also being subtle at the same time, because they are because the blues that you use are a lot more cooler, and I think even some of the reds, some of them are a little bit closer to pink, if anything. So I don't know. I think they look really nice together, and I think that's sort of cool how it like works in harmony with each other.
Thank you. It's all that my painting experience has taught me is one, patience, and two, just experiment with everything, especially with this one. I tried out new blues and whites that I got for my birthday, and the blue that I got isn't the best, but it does its job because it gives a more purplish, softer tone when mixing it with red. And I think it blends horribly, but I tried my best. Will this take a lot more patience, especially with whatever's going on here? Absolutely. I am not excited, but it is what it is. But yeah, I feel like art is really all about patience to have with yourself, and especially with experimenting and finding your own niche in it all.
Mm-hmm. So are there any particular artists right now, modern or older, online or traditional, that you think inspire and are affecting your art as a whole?
I have like a solid three. Well, one for more modern artists, well, two modern artists, but my first one, I definitely recommend, not recommend, Colleen has always been an inspiration since noticing her artwork, especially getting me more confidence with working with one line. Seeing her paintings strike a abstract on me, and I absolutely adore it every time that I look at her progress photos on Twitter, and just the way she uses her platform and her art is just so incredible. And then Roberto Ferri, actually, he's an oil painting artist in Italy, and he's like alive still. He's young, and he's the reason why I focus on figures so heavily, because of the way he paints his bodies, especially with religious elements in it, and just kind of expressing like Gothic, Catholic, like religious themes in there. And it's incredible to look at his artworks because it's so disturbing yet soft, because the oils that I use. And an older artist, I was thinking about this. I finally remembered what his name was. He's a Russian painter. His name's Konstantin Somonov, and he's dead now. But in the 1800s, he's a gay man, which is even more impressive, because you're like, oh, gay people didn't exist in Russia in the 1800s. At least I don't know. But
They just didn't exist.
It didn't exist. No, but I love the way he draws the male figure, and especially in The Boxer by Konstantin Somonov, it's absolutely gorgeous to see how he paints it. And I think like even he has a couple pieces for ballet, and his colors are so soft. It's very nice. And like those three just kind of like help me like develop as an artist as I see the progress over time. And so it makes me happy.
Yeah. I've known I follow Roberto Ferri, I believe, on Instagram, and his stuff is very, very disturbing in a lot of ways, but it's truly incredible. Like the way he paints skin, especially considering he uses oil, is
also
gorgeous.
So fucking tall. Have you seen how big those pieces are?
Yeah,
he like shows it.
And yeah, no, they're crazy. And you know, a lot of times like they're like their heads will become like deers or just like weird empty pits. It's kind of insane. And I don't know. Whenever I look at them, I kind of always wonder like, what was the thought process? Because it looked like for a good like 2/3 of this, you were just like painting two people hanging out naked, and then all of a sudden like, oh, there is a tentacle. Like it's, I don't know. It's really cool, and it's really disturbing. And I figured that's probably one of them that you were gonna say.
Also, Alexander Capanel, I forgot to say that. He's like my baby. I don't shut up about him as like a little art major. I think he has a really soft skin tones. I saw like this one of like him painting like a centaur holding like a woman, and she's just bright and it's very soft and it's beautiful. Anyways, continue.
So I was just gonna go on to the next question. So through my conversations with you on our own type, two of your favorite things to talk about are literature about old gay English vampires and classical music.
Transylvanian.
Yeah.
It's Romanian. Excuse
Okay. I'm
you.
sorry. I apologize. We'll confine it to old gay vampires then as a whole. Old gay vampires and classical music. Do you think that's something that that sort of comes up in your art? If so, how so? Feel free to go on a tangent about Tchaikovsky as you so usually do. Yeah.
I think I honestly this morning to get my work done for school, I was listening to classical music to get myself to do it. I think it's one of the most I can only listen to intense classical music though, because even though Tchaikovsky, he did make Swan Lake, it was very interesting, beautiful, blah 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 blah. But I absolutely adore I think it's Mozart's Requiem, and then in that Requiem, there's Dies Irae, but then Giuseppe Verdi's Dies Irae is incredible. It's absolutely beautiful. And then Esmeralda is a beautiful dance piece that I love watching every single time. But when it comes to music influencing my art, it really has delved into like just it's really at this point it's just me putting on one song in the back of my head. If I'm really craving like the feeling of something, I know that with I hate this band so much. I hate this band. I know with this painting, I was listening to Mindless Self-Indulgence. Anyways, that. Oh, Jesus. And then my one painting I did named Agony, I was listening to Cancer by My Chemical Romance on repeat because it's just the facial expression was like, I took a picture of me, or like a video, I took a stop and then I went, eh. But a lot of my music, it's really just what I've been listening to. I like to listen to albums on repeat. I feel like a lot of the themes come up. Sometimes I need to be in a headspace where I need that music. And a lot of like the stuff, I've been listening to this one cover it's a mashup of As the World Caves In with Cancer. And oh my, because the dude like sings it himself, and it's been like inspiring like two of my pieces already, and I like absolutely adore it. And
those are two very emotional songs that I feel like could definitely work together very well.
I might, because I was gonna listen to it on repeat and finish this one, because I wanted to finish this painting when I was talking to someone, and I wanted to wait and see if I felt in love again to have that inspiration to make the painting again instead of be sad and miserable. But then we're not winners here. That didn't work out. So I'm gonna see if I can hurt myself emotionally with music and finish this piece, because oh my god, it's been just staring at me on the edge of my bed. But I feel like a lot of the stuff, like a lot of things revolving around like human touch and like love, just and songs about just nothing of that sort and just pain. Just oh god, I sound ridiculous. I feel like I need music that says like touch. Oh, also Hungarian Dance number 5, that one's good. Now that's good. Hall of the Mountain King, love that song. That's classic. I'm sorry, I had to. Actually, what I have a drawing on my wall. There it is. I see you. I drew this drawing 2 years ago, and I had to listen to Tchaikovsky to finish it. Like it was, I think I was replaying this one part of Swan Lake. He did the Moonlight Sonata. Nope, that was someone else. That was not Tchaikovsky. Oh, I'm probably pissing a lot of people off. but yeah, I feel like just like the more that I look at art and the more that I like have the urge to read, the more it gives me the drive to paint, especially with like literature. Like I feel like I want to read like 3 books currently. One of them is just because No. no, because literally there's this TikTok going around of Hugh Dancy reading By Nightfall by whatever the hell his name is, Cunningham.
Okay.
And I was like, I want to read this to know what the fuck he's reading, because the quote goes, you can blur this out and bleep it out completely.
Okay.
I just wanted to straddle a dick, that big stupid boy. I didn't like him, but at that moment, I wanted to fuck him more than anything in my life. That's it. That's the quote. Hugh Dancy did an audiobook of that book for 7 hours.
Jesus.
7 hours long. And I think it's so funny. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to read it now. Because I like to do everything out of spite. If I didn't enjoy listening to that clip, I want to torture myself by reading it. That's what.
Okay.
It's how I got to read Call Me By Your Name and sobbed like a bitch afterwards. Like it was painful. I did not expect that, because I have annotations talking about how much I hate the book while I was reading it.
You've talked to me about your distaste for it several times.
And I will never shut up about it. Ever. And I haven't watched the movie yet. So if I try watching the movie, I have no rights. That's because, well, Armie Hammer's so beautiful.
See, this is kind of what I meant when I included the rant bit, because I knew it was going to happen at some point during this.
You should have, like, especially with just talking about like what inspires my art. Like, that's like almost anything in the world. I like could breathe. Like, there's certain things, like if you walk outside, the masks don't make it any easier. This is the only time I'll complain about the masks. Please wear a mask. But I miss walking outside and just kind of like breathing in like the fall crispness.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good smell to me, and I adore it so much. It's so nostalgic. It makes me so happy. But since I wear my masks when I'm outside, I wear it when I'm walking, I wear it everywhere, except for like my car and stuff, because I'm alone. I just kind of like just wear it for my own safety reasons, but like it makes me miss it. But hopefully we won't be having these issues anymore if people start taking the pandemic more seriously. But anyways.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. Something that kind of, for me, I always feel that after a cigarette, like the first breath that you kind of have, like after you're done smoking one, is I try to like, I've made a habit out of it where like once I'm done, I like will breathe in. Yeah, dude. No, oh my God, it's so nice. It's so nice because you breathe in like really deeply. Your lungs are like, oh my God, thank Christ, we're done. It's really nice. So I totally get what you mean by that. I was gonna say, I was gonna say something else. I've been listening to a lot of Depression Cherry by Beach House recently, which is a very ambient album. It has a lot of synths and just general like reverb on it. And that has been incredible to draw to. I was like very, 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 very high a couple of days ago, and I was listening to Space Song and PPP off of that album, and I was just like, my head was exploding.
I sound like the biggest hypocrite now. So all I've been listening to on Spotify recently, I'm like regressing in the worst ways possible. I am listening to Set It Off Again, but only the cinema. I hate it. No, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I've tortured Leela by screaming songs in the car. Like it was I don't know. They're gonna be like, no, it was fine. Vince was okay. He was fine. I was like, no. It's Swan Song. It's only Swan Song that hurts me that badly. Like I was screaming, like, because it's just, I remember crying on the DART bus, like home from school in middle school, listening to that in like 8th grade because of my daddy issues. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, tell me where we went wrong. It's like shit like that. But now I'm sitting there and I'm just singing it like normal. And it's very fun. It's very angsty. It's not worth it, is it? No. But like, I feel like there are certain things that are fine to come back and there are certain things that don't need to come back. Oh my God, I listened to Motionless in White for the first time. What the fuck? They sound so good. They did a cover of The Killers. Like, I have music that makes me feel like my mom, and it's literally just The Killers and Muse. Muse makes me, oh, I miss it. Oh my god, it's literally if I had to go on testosterone and sound like anybody, it would literally be Muse, because his voice is just like so. And it's just nice. It's just nice. But also, I think a lot of things that have also been inspiring my art, especially with my line work recently, my sketchbooks all the way across the fucking room, is my gender identity crisis. Is the easiest way to put it. Like,
it's
I
that time of
literally,
the year again.
yeah, I think I spent like a ton of pages just drawing like my ideal body, and I just kept writing like Vincent over the pages over and over and over again, and then I'd be like, this is just my little secret, nobody needs to know, and then everybody knows now. So yeah, okay.
Well,
there we
it's
go.
okay.
There we
I
go.
mean, I think
But now I have like some pretty awesome pieces, except for this one where I tried drawing like my ideal body and I looked like Michael Jackson. So just the facial portion, because when you have like curly hair and white skin,
yeah,
like this, you look like Michael Jackson. It
just kind of like
Jackson
happens
before he died. Huh?
I said it just kind of like happens on accident.
It just happens. And I feel like because I literally, when I looked in the mirror, I look like Joan Jett, or I look like Freddie Mercury with short hair. I've seen this picture of Freddie Mercury with short hair, and it's like up here, and the rest of his hair is like up here. Anyways, and then it's Jason sent me a picture of not Vince Staples. It was some dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vince Staples. That I don't know about that
No,
one.
it was some dude, not Tommy Lee. I've been called Tommy Lee, but it's not Tommy Lee. What the fuck is it? He sent me this white dude with my hair, and I was
Slash.
like, no.
Definitely Slash.
No, it was some dude. It might, oh my god, I don't know. I really don't know. I have to look through our text. But Jason just like said that, and I was like, okay, thank you. I'm like, what do I do with this information?
Yeah.
But oh my god, I can look like Finn Wolfhard again. Damn.
That's true. That's all. But yeah, we're kind of getting into that territory.
I hate it here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with what you were saying about just gender identity, I think art is for pretty much everyone. Art has always been a it's not like a secret that it's a form of self-expression and a way for a lot of people to sort of cultivate their self-identity through that. So it makes sense that that's something that you have experienced over the years more recently and when you first started getting into it. So yeah,
it's really just kind of let me experiment of what I want like my body to look like, and just kind of shit like that. But also at the same time, when you've only been looking at like a biologically feminine body, that's all you can draw. So everyone's wondering like why I have naked women all over my room, and it's like, what the fuck else am I supposed to look at for what the fuck else? Like, I mean, I try to put clothes on them, but it doesn't work like that. And then
sometimes, yeah, I don't know. I think I mean, you know, not everything that is naked is inherently sexual, and I think that's something that's like portrayed pretty clearly in your art. In that, you know, again, I have the one back there that's like, I don't know. I think it's very peaceful, and in certain ways kind of reminds me of Midsummer. I think just because of the flowers and everything. But I don't know. I think it's always cool because it's very easy to make something that is naked sexual, and so I think when you have something that is in its just most natural environment, I think that can be pretty cool.
Yeah, the Greeks were naked, so I mean,
all the
Greeks were naked all the time. Fun fact about the Greeks. Apologies, you can cut that out. Please cut that out. Anyway, okay. So the Greeks. So in sociology, I learned that the Greeks, when it came to sexuality, they were like, okay, we see the need for women for reproductive issues, but real men partake in same-sex relationships. And I was like,
that's the Greeks for you.
Taking a one-way trip to Greece. No, but I just thought that was very interesting because I mean, like, well, just for my own sociological purposes, and just because it's seen how society, like literally one gender is completely different across all spectrums around the world. Sexuality is completely, there is no one singular gay experience, it's not one singular straight experience. And so I feel like even certain cultures have really call their gods by like non-binary identities, and so I think that's incredibly wonderful to look at with sociology. But back onto the topic of naked bodies, I feel like when you look at the human body, it's almost like when you're painting the human body, you have the ability, in my case, I feel like I'm able to play God with whatever I want, because I feel like clothes distract and also are impossible to do. But they distract like the whole purpose of the body. You can't see the fluidity in muscles, you can't see the creases in skin, you can't see the rib cage, the collar, the neck, the
There's
muscles.
A lot of curves and
there's
and
a lot
flow.
that comes to it. Exactly. And that's why whenever I feel like I put on clothes on like any of my paintings, I'm lazy.
It detracts from it.
Exactly. And so it's all about also with like, and I have one painting that's all the way right there watching me. I was going to put in my background, but it's just full of bodies. And like, no, I don't have any of their genitals anywhere except for that one. Oh, and that one.
Just hanging out. It's just doing its thing. I
mean, they're like a Ken doll right now. So we're just going to keep it like that. I was drunk when I made it. I sat there. Turns out I can paint a lot better when I'm drunk than I'm high. So I have to take that into account. I don't condone doing those things at a not legal, whatever the fuck. I don't care. But yeah, I think everyone at least needs to, at some point, if you are an artist, just even sitting and looking at yourself and trying to draw like your body, because I feel like, especially with like I've diagnosed body dysmorphia and not body dysphoria. I know that I have possible dysphoria, but I know that I have body dysmorphia due to treatment and recovery and shit like that. So I know that what I see you'll never see, and what you see is what I'll never see. I've made several paintings expressing my body dysphoria and how I don't know what I look like regularly. And so I think that's the beauty of making this art, because it's the whole point of why I do it, of why I paint these bodies, is just to be like, this is what I think everything
translating it.
I'm translating what I'm trying to be like, because it's so weird to like look at yourself and be like, do you not see that? And I feel like I'm going absolutely insane. But when I put in a painting where people are like, ooh, pretty bodies, and then they're like, ooh, the titty, and then I go, okay, thank you. At least you can fucking see what it is. Okay, that means I'm on the right track somewhere. But it's very fun for me, because I feel like I'm able to finally not seem crazy, because I'm able to show what I see. And it's like looking through like glasses as like a colorblind person. But I get what you're saying. It's a way to easier convey and translate everything that you're feeling in a understandable way that people can relate to themselves, as well as understand just from a non-relatable standpoint as well. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. You here have a couple minutes to plug any shit you want. You make various clay creations, you make various paintings and drawings. Go for it. Okay. Hey there, big person, gender nondescript. Please buy my art, because I price very cheaply, because I lost respect for myself. But I'm gonna walk away for 5 seconds. You aren't seeing what I'm doing. Oh my fucking god. You aren't seeing what I'm doing. So, hi there. Do you like, art? Well, if you like clay and not incest, but incense, I have the treat for you. You stick the incense stick in here and you light it on fire. This one, you light it in their mouth. It's very fun and people like it. If you like it, please let me know. I'm finishing this one soon. Maybe I'll finish this one. We'll never know. But I love you all. You make my heart full, and you help me pay for bills and to be alive. So I greatly appreciate you buying my art and commissioning me. And also buy Noise Plant merch because my John is on there. I helped design the logo for Lonely Bird Records. So if you're wondering one day, you're like, who the fuck is that? It's like, that's me. That's Vince. Fuck. Anyways, so yeah, my Twitter is You're a Liar, Lucille. It's the most time that I post art and shit like that. And you could just talk to me about bullshit. You can respond to my stories. I make a lot of rants about shit that nobody talks about. Maybe you'll get to see my Instagram, maybe you won't. But it doesn't matter because I'm on Twitter. So anyways, there's that for you. I hope you like that really in-depth ad read.
Dude, that went so many places I wasn't expecting it to go, and I fucking loved every second of it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, Vince has done merch designs for Noise Plant. They did the album cover for my album that's coming out soon, in a little bit, at some point. I don't know. And then they also post art on Twitter. So thank you. Again, you can follow them at You're a Liar, Lucille, on there. Thanks again for coming on. It's been very fun talking with you about whatever the fuck this was. Yeah. And until the next time, I think that's it. So
thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I can finally say I've been on Off the Donut. Fuck
let's
yeah,
fucking go. All right.
Okay. I don't know if you end it. Do I end it? Do you end it?
I end it.